Hello and welcome to the Swansea Comic and Gaming Convention stream. You'd think I'd be better at doing that now, but no Adam this week, but we are joined by Dyfrig,
Hi, Adam. Oh, poor Adam.
the Iron Warrior Cosplay.
Hey, and also, if we're live, we are live. There we go. Iron Warrior Cosplay live. That's my sign. That's when I do my streams. I enjoy my little live streams.
Okay, so we met Dyfrig. Might be about 10 years ago now.
A good fair chunk of years ago, because I didn't have the Iron Warrior then, I don't think.
No, you were Professor Verymental in Nerdvana
Oh, yeah.
when we met.
Nerdvana. Yeah. Nerdvana, I did. Nerdvana, I did a bunch of festivals that year. Nerdvana was the first time I met you guys. And also, it was also the time where the Carmartenshire Ghostbusters were just starting to I say take off, as in I'd started a group and they had like 6 followers, and then suddenly it had like 50, and now like it's just going up and up and up and up, and I love that little group, and it's fun. That's just a fun little Ghostbusters group I've set up for people, and I get people joining it daily. It's mad how many people join that group. It's much love for the Ghostbusters. I love it.
So yeah, the first time we met, we were doing Swansea Comic Collective. Sorry, I had to remember. There's so many S's and C's.
Yeah, there's so many S's and T's, it's hard to do. Hey, my brother, Ranger of Creed Cosplay, my best friend, is in chat. Nani, multi-stream watching, sub Dyfrig. He's an absolute legend. He told me he would join in. He's currently watching multiple streams and painting a model at the same time. That is like multitasking across
That is
all
multitasking. I could barely keep this conversation going when me and Simon are doing our painting streams. But yeah, we were there doing Nerdvana with Swansea Comics Collective, and we had a panel that was kind of at the same time as Dyfrig doing Professor Verymental, and we had one person in there, and then all of a sudden this beardy steampunk guy bursts in and brings a whole room full of people.
It was funny because like I just finished my set and I was like done, and I was like thanks everyone, and then my Marcus, one of the organisers, came out. Marcus Belden Smith just comes up to me and he's just like, the Swansea panel has just started, but they've only got like one person there. And I was like, oh, I've got an idea. Grab the mic back from him. I was like, okay, everyone, follow me. Just like walked literally almost the entire con. Walked through this one like hallway bit down. I was like, in you go, everyone go in. And then you guys are just like, what the hell's happening? I was like, everybody in. Get in. Like, it was so much fun. That was a good laugh. That was such a good laugh.
So, how did you get into cosplay?
Yeah, that's the question I ask a lot of people on my panels and on my Q&A streams, and it is a difficult one. Speaking of Marcus Belden Smith, he's basically the one who got me into it. I met him. How did I meet him properly the first time? I think the very first time I met him was at a party that a friend of mine had set up in Carmarthen. It was like a birthday party. And I met him there, and we just clicked immediately because he loved steampunk and really nerdy things. I loved steampunk and really nerdy things. And it just kind of happened. We became friends. And it just went from there. He showed me like the wonderful world of steampunk, and at the time I didn't know much about steampunk. Like I'd heard of it, I'd seen pictures and stuff, and I had like a clockwork background for my phone that used to move and that kind of stuff. But I wasn't really into the whole get up and go kind of thing of it. Where he just comes out of the blue and was just like, hey, right, this is steampunk, this is how you do. So I was kind of like, okay, let's see what I can do. Found like a waistcoat, a nice pair of trousers, a nice pair of brown shoes, a really cool brass walking cane where when you take the top off, it's got a compass inside it so you can like find north. It's just I just bought it online, and I just, as much random stuff as I could find, and like I have steampunk glasses without the arms. They're pince-nez, I think they're called. They clip onto your nose and they just sit on your nose, and they're big round black ones. and they're really, really cool. And I wore them, and I slicked my hair back, and I thought I looked dapper. I had a cravat and a white shirt and a little pocket square and stuff. And I went to my first con is Cardiff Film and Comic Con with a huge group of steampunks called the Cogs, and we're called the Carmartenshire Organisation of Genteel Steampunk. And I thought that was really cool. So I joined them, and that's pretty much where I walked through the doors. After I had my ticket, I walked through the doors, got my wristband, walked into the main room of the Cardiff Film and Comic Con back in the day. And right in front of you at those doors, they'd always put the car. Remember, they'd put a car? Yeah. And the first car that was there, that literally kicked my teeth in because it's my favorite car in the world, it was a 1969 Dodge Charger, and it was the General Lee. And I was like, oh my God, it's the General Lee. And I obsessed over it. I was around the rope that I had around it, and I was going over to it. And the guy came up and chatted to me. The guy's name was Lee, funnily enough. The General Lee was owned by a guy named Lee. And I just instantly just asked him every single question I wanted to know about the car, since he was the owner. And I wanted to know everything about it. I asked him crazy questions about that car. And he gave me his card, and we added each other on Facebook and stuff. And I met him at several other events afterwards then, especially with Lisa, the UKCGF. I met him there as well, where I got to go for a ride along in the General Lee. And it was like literally like one of my dreams come true. And I asked him whether one day, and this was meant to be last year, but obviously COVID, I was going to ask, can I drive it? Like, just drive it around a car park. Not like foot to the floor, donuts, that kind of crap. I'm talking like, actually just to sit in the driver's seat, slam it in the drive, and just go and have a drive, and maybe
you'd have to find a stack of boxes to drive through. And
oh man, yeah, honestly, it's a precious car and it's worth a lot of money. You wouldn't jump it off anything, but I would want to jump it off something. But no, what I would do is I would generally just drive. I would love to drive it around a car park. Just a car park. It doesn't have to be on the road. It can just be in a car park around in circles. I don't care. As long as I get to drive the General Lee, that would genuinely be the best. I think that would be absolutely fantastic. One of the times I met him at a convention, quite an angry woman was next to him, and he was angry, and I was like, why is there anger? There shouldn't be anger at a convention. And I stood like near them, and I was the MC for that event, and that was in Exeter, I think. Yeah, I think that was in Exeter. I was the MC for Showmasters at the time, and I was just chilling there with like my lanyards and stuff, just waiting to chat to him. And he had this argument with this woman. I didn't listen too much, obviously. And she sort of stormed off and went to talk to someone in a blue shirt and started complaining to them. And I went up to him and was like, Lee, what's wrong, man? Or whatever. He was like, because the General Lee adorns the Confederate flag, and he had bunting with the Confederate flags and stuff, and he had a TV with the Dukes of Hazzard TV show playing, she instantly went down the route of like, this is racism. Not this is a TV show that he clearly enjoys, and he bought the car, and he's wearing the T-shirt, and he's wearing the cowboy hat, and he loves the show. As the show, she took it as that flag, racism, and just went off on one. And she tried to get him kicked out of the convention. Like, they'd paid him a lot of money to be there with the car.
Yeah.
And people were going up having their photo in the car, taken with the car. They loved the car. The car was amazing. The car was a staple of that TV show. And, without the car, it wouldn't really be the Dukes of Hazzard, because the General Lee was part of the show even. And she tried to get him kicked out of the event. It was hilarious. That was really, really funny. It was so funny. And obviously it didn't happen. So she just threw a wobbly and probably went on the internet and yelled about it for a bit. But nothing came from it. But it kind of put a downer on his day. It put a downer on his day, sadly. And it just takes that one person. That's a bit heartbreaking when you think about it. But back to Nerdvana, though. It's where we first met. And then things kind of kicked off from there. That was quite fun.
So, was it much of a leap from that first con in Cardiff to Verymental?
It was the fourth or maybe fifth Cardiff Film and Comic Con when I decided to try and go in for the cosplay competition, and I tried to get like best performance. So what I did was I learnt one of Paul's songs. Paul is Professor Elemental. I learnt one of his songs, Fighting Trousers, and I learnt it completely off by heart, like completely off by heart. And he was nice enough to send me the track without the lyrics, so it was just the musical version of it. so I could actually do it properly, and I did it on stage, and it was great. I had my USB, and I gave the USB to the guy, and I was like, "Don't copy the file," because he told me not to share that blank copy out, and I was like, "That's fine." So he just played it off my USB. I did it. I didn't win, which is fine. I got an honorable mention, but I remember doing that. And when I came off, I was like, it had hit me really hard, and I was really rushed, and I loved it. And I spoke to Paul, and it just blossomed from there. It got better and better and better because I think I've done 20 odd gigs altogether as Professor Verymental, and I've done several gigs separate from them with Paul and Mr. B, the Gentleman Rhymer. I've done a bunch of gigs and stuff with them separately from that. Like we did a bunch of stuff together. I'm hoping to get back into more of that because I have stopped for a bit. Sadly, my actual suit, the Professor Verymental suit that I had, was at an event and it was hung up in a dressing room and it got stolen, which is absolutely heartbreaking. But I have the pith helmet, and the pith helmet, when I went to, what event was it? Llandrindod Wells, I think it was. We went there and Paul was there and I was going to do a gig with him. I was meant to jump on stage and do fighting trousers back and forward with him. And right at the end, I gave him my brand spanking new pith helmet. I gave him that as a gift, as a thank you, and he gave me his old, like, shaggy, knackered one. But I cherish that one because it's his, and it's been to so many gigs with him. And I was like, I love this helmet. So I still have the original helmet, which is great, but the suit is gone, sadly. And the suit had my pipe in it, and it had some medals on it, and it also had some business cards I made for Professor Verymental. But it's a shame, really, that stuff like that happens. But hey, I've learned now, and when I get the suit back, I'll probably do some other gigs again. That'd be really, really fun. I wouldn't mind doing some gigs again. I think that'd be kind of fun.
So, from there, was it? Did you branch into the Ghostbusters from that then?
Well, yeah. The thing is, like, with when I was doing the steampunk, for example, it went from just me dressed up, as like a dapper steampunk, and then it sort of went on, and I had a piston arm, and then it went on again, and it upgraded, and I had a big a big plasma gun and called Mabel, and then it just escalated from there, and it just got bigger and bigger, and then I started making characters and stuff, and I started doing this, that, and the other. It was insane. It was absolutely insane. But when I hit what I call like the peak of my steampunk side of things, where I didn't think I could take it any further, was when I was like, right, I love cosplay. What's my next cosplay? Something that isn't steampunk. So I went online and just started looking up like cosplays. I was going through, seeing all these massive armors and stuff, and I was like, I can't do that. I can. It turns out I can. But at the time, I was like, no, that's too much. I can't do that. So I went into looking to buy something. So I thought I'd buy something. So I went online and looked at a bunch of stuff. Well, I've always loved the 1984 movie Ghostbusters. I've always loved that film. But never in my life did I think people actually dressed up as that. Because, again, cosplay was so new to me. I was 16 or 17 when I started the steampunk stuff. So this was like a good year and a half, 2 years after that, I'd been cosplaying. And then when I saw that people were cosplaying Ghostbusters and stuff, I dived in to doing all the research. And I did so much research. I had a folder. I think it had like 1,300 like folders inside with different stuff. So one folder would be like the trap, the belt, the this, the that, and it was all categorized. Started going online looking where I could buy stuff and where I could like get this, that, and the other. And I saw a guy online called Ben of Kent Props. And believe it or not, he's in Kent. Ben of Kent Props actually builds proton packs. He builds kits, so you can buy a kid's size kit that has lights and sounds and stuff. So you can build it and paint it yourself. You drill the holes, you build it. It's all cast and ready to go, but you've got to do all the cleaning up and building of it. It comes as a whole kit. Everything you need. There's nothing you have to buy to sort out. It is what it. You may have to buy a can of spray paint to spray it black because it comes raw. So you may have to spray it black. I think that's the only thing you'll need to buy. As for the lighting kit inside, there are kits you can buy. He links people to where they can buy light kits where they have the cyclotron lights and the power lights and all that kind of stuff, and the wand lights and things. So I contacted him and asked him how much for a pack kit, And he says, well, I do kits. They're this much. I do these kits and that kits and this. He does trap kits now. He does pedal kits as well for the trap. But he also told me he does fully built, ready to go, out of the box proton packs with his own custom electronics inside it. So I got talking to him then over a couple of weeks, asking him, can I have, what power speakers do you do? He's like, this. I was like, can I have this? So I have, inside my proton pack, I have two 125 watt car speakers. It has a built-in car amplifier running off a big blue lithium-ion battery. That runs onto an Arduino, which has all of the noises on it. But it also has the Ghostbusters theme, Cleaning Up the Town. It has Cleaning Up the Town with the Ghostbuster Ecto 1 siren over the top of it. And it also has, what was the other one? The Uberstank version of the Ghostbusters theme, like a heavy rock version of the Ghostbusters theme. So I decided I'm going to buy that. And I asked him whether he would take installments. And he was like, absolutely. If you can pay, this much, like every, whenever you can. I opted in because I got paid every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I would get paid 2 weeks, and then I'd pay him at the end of the month, which means I would have plenty of money left over to be able to, buy food and live off of. So he wasn't asking for much per month to pay for it, but the grand total was a lot. And
Yeah.
I don't tell people how much it costs because people wince. And it's like, well, it was worth it. Trust me. For a fully built and painted proton pack, trust me, it was worth it. So he did that. I did the installments. I finished paying for it before it was built, like before it was completed. So I just waited for it to get complete. He would send me updates daily. I would message him asking how things are going. He'd ask me if I wanted this, that, and the other. Finally, the day comes when he's like, it's done. He sends me the first video of it starting up and all the lights and sounds and stuff. And he says, thank you so much in the video. And then it came to deliver it. But luckily for me, I don't know if you know, but do you know the Elvis Festival that happens in Wales?
In Porthcawl, yeah.
Yeah, there's a big Elvis festival that happens in Wales, in Porthcawl. And I was like, oh, are you going to that? Because we were talking about it. He was like, are you going to the Elvis festival? I was like, no, are you going to that? And he said, yeah, we're popping through. And I was like, well, you could detour and bring me my pack, maybe. And like, I gave him some money for postage, obviously. Not for postage, but like for delivery, because he did have to go out of his way to get to mine because I live in the arse end of nowhere. Then he had to go to Porthcawl to do the Elvis festival. And, it was like that meeting of him for the first time, like the guy who built it, and he bought it in and he put it on the table like that and it sat up proudly by itself. And I was like, oh my God. And then he taught me how to use it because he put switches in the back, and fair play to him. He had put 2 switches on it for me because it takes such a lot of power to power the 225 watt speakers through the car amplifier. He gave me 2 switches, one which completely shuts off the amplifier altogether and just runs all the lights, and that's it. So it still does all the animation, still turns on and off and everything, but there's no audio at all, which is great because I've been to conventions where it's quite compact. So I'll either turn it down really quietly or I'll just run the lights. And I'm fine with just running the lights if I'm honest with you. But if I'm at for example, Swansea in that big hall, nice echoey hall. God, crank it up. Just go for it. Just play the Ghostbusters theme and everyone's just like, hey, here he comes. My usual thing is you'll hear me before you see me. And that's usually the case. But with the Ghostbusters, then I bought the jumpsuit and the belt, the PKE meter, and modified that with another kit, which gives it the sounds from the movie. And I have a ghost trap, and then I mounted that to the proton pack, like from the real Ghostbusters cartoon, and just made it my own. I got a lot of grief for it, from the what I like to call the anoraks, those perfectionists who are like, oh, you have to have this, you have to have that, this is that. And I got a lot of grief from that, but a lot of the community were like, that's cool, you made it your own, because I'm not a specific character from the film. I'm not Venkman, I'm not Spengler, I'm not Egon. Egon Spengler, sorry. I'm none of the original cast. I'm me. It says Dyfrig on my badge. So the way I looked at it is, this is how I would have my kit set up if I was a Ghostbuster in real life. So it's like I made it my own. I even gave myself my own ID badge. So, it's how that kicked off. And once the Ghostbuster thing happened and I started doing like kids parties and stuff, then the View Cinema asked me to go and do some stuff for them when the Ghostbusters film came out with the female Ghostbusters movie came out.
Yeah.
that's when things just started getting much cooler and much cooler. Because I was getting asked to go to here, go to there. I was in Cardiff doing charity work for Latch, the World's Children's Cancer Charity, which I do a lot of work for, to raise money for them and all that kind of cool stuff. It just blew up for me, basically, and that's what I love about it. Until the day I was at Cardiff Film and Comic Con with my friend Simon. We'd just been on stage having some fun, and we did our panel. And we got someone kitted up in Ghostbusters kit on stage. It was really funny. We went back to our table, and a Space Marine walks in. This big, like, hulking great red and gold ball of anger just, like, walks up and then take off the helmet to see, like, the nicest face of one of my closest friends now, David Roth. And, you know, he tried on my Ecto goggles. We chatted. I asked him about the suit because at the time, I played Warhammer 40k tabletop. I still play it-ish now, but not as much before lockdown, obviously. When he came in, I got blown away. When I saw him down on the con floor walking around, oh my God, you know, I was literally mind blown when I saw that. I could not believe how, like, huge he was, and, like, the armor and everything was to proportion. And I loved it. And he had this big axe, and he was stood next to the... It was what's the mystery machine from Scooby-Doo that was at Cardiff at that time. He was stood next to it, and he was taller than it. He could put his hand on top of the van like that and just stand there.
That's pretty tall.
And I was just like, you know what, right? I need to get to that level of cosplay. So I chatted to him for ages, and we became friends online. And then it got to the point where I bothered him so much about, like, different aspects of how to build it and all that. And that's where my friend Dave Damon comes into it. He came into it then, and I asked him some advice because he had a big Grey Knight Space Marine. And that was amazing. That was actually intense. Hey, Hot Rod Welder's in chat. Hell yeah, that's a friend of mine from one of my streams. An absolute legend. So David Roth was there. Chatted to him. Dave Damon was there. Chatted to him. He had a big Grey Knight. David Roth was a big Khorne Berserker. And I wanted to build myself a Space Marine. Didn't think it was going to happen. When I was at London Film and Comic Con as an MC for Showmasters again, that's where David was in his Darth Vader Space Marine, Iron Hands cross Darth Vader. So, like, bringing Warhammer 40k and Star Wars together. And when I saw that, I was like, you have another one? He was like, yeah, I have several. And I was like, oh my God, this is the guy to talk to about this kind of stuff. So while there was work and stuff that wasn't needing an MC on stage, I would walk around with David, clearing people out of his way as a spotter for him because he didn't have a spotter at the time. So I would shout, like, you know, Lord Vader, come bow down to him. And people would come over and kneel next to him and, like, have a photo of them kneeling next to him, that kind of thing. And that was so much fun. And we became really, really good friends after that. And there's so much I'm skipping. Like, there's so much skipping around because, like, it's a long timeline. And this is years and years. I am 28 now. I started when I was, like, 16. So it's like... And he and I got talking. And when we finished... there was a guy we spoke to who ran an event called Play Expo. Now, I don't know if you know Play Expo at all, but it ran in Manchester. So it was Play Expo Manchester, and David and I had been talking so much previously that I'd already started printing out the templates, the Pepakura files for a Space Marine. Still at this point, I didn't know what faction I was going for, whether I was going to be Loyalist or Chaos. I kind of leant more towards Chaos because I had a Chaos army at the time. We would just go on massive calls for like 2 to 3 hours, and I would be printing stuff out, cutting stuff out, taping it together, cutting everything out. Had most of the patterns done. When we were at this event, when we asked this chap about Play Expo Manchester, David had an idea where we should build your Space Marine live in front of people at the event. I don't know to this day what made me say, yeah, sure, that'll be fine. and not just slap him across the face and go, you're a madman! How dare you speak of such heresy? We literally went nuts then. I bought all the foam, I bought blades. I bought a heat gun. And funny thing, this is the same heat gun, which is falling apart. It is very broken. I replaced the switch in it already. The cable I've had to shorten 3 times because it keeps breaking and kicking. That is an old heat gun now, but it still works. Still works to this day. Sadly, this glue gun is copy-paste the exact glue gun I bought, because I bought 2 of them, when I built the Iron Warrior. This is the same glue gun, but this one's currently dying as well. This one's got tape and stuff on it as well. That's the same. That's not the same heat gun, glue gun, sorry, from the actual event, but it's the same model. We had 4 glue guns altogether running at the same time. My friend at the time, Marcus Springle, had a pregnant girlfriend. He and I have been friends for so long. He's an absolute legend. I love him to bits. And he doesn't live far from me. I go to him and go, I need help at Play Expo Manchester. Me and David can't build this suit by ourselves. We need like a 3rd person, if not a 4th. We ended up just the 3 of us. But Marcus at the time was like, my girlfriend's about to pop any minute. Sure, I'll come to Manchester with you. So we went from there with a hire van. I hired myself a van, drove up to Manchester, and this is where... The reason I know this is where it all started is because the first ever video I uploaded to my cosplay page was of me and him behind a van. I think it was a Muller Corner van that had cow print all over it, playing 500 Miles by the Proclaimers, because we were stuck in traffic heading to Play Expo Manchester. Now, this is where I consider my Space Marine cosplay journey starting, but that's not before my page was just called The Space Marine Cosplay. That's what it was called, because I didn't know what faction I was going for. Still no idea what I wanted to do. I knew it was going to be Chaos. Didn't know what faction, didn't know what chapter, no idea. Didn't know what I was going to do.
What did you play?
At the time, just Chaos Space Marines. They were literally just Chaos Space Marines. I didn't have them, you know, each little faction bit I had were different. I had like my Noise Marines, they were Slaneshi, and then I had demons and stuff, and I didn't have like an army. I had a bunch of random different bits and bobs.
Yeah.
Because the army I got given wasn't out of the box. It was here's an old box of stuff I've randomly cobbled together. You can have them. So I had to sort of glue things together and figure out what was what. And I had a bunch of Terminators and stuff. And it got sort of difficult to figure out what was what. My friends, fair play, were really supportive because they were just like, hey, you want to get into it? That's fine. But I'd been playing for quite a while, and I'd already had my first Reaver Titan by then. So we would play Apocalypse games. We have 4-day-long Apocalypse games. So we do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Sometimes we do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Each turn for one person, and there's like usually 6 or 7 of us, each turn can take up to 2 hours long for one turn. Moving things, like shooting phases, all that kind of stuff. It's insane. And then when he does, you've got save rolls and you've got all that kind of, and it gets, and the tables, there's like 4 6-foot-long tables in a line, like end to end, by another row of 6-foot tables end to end, the entire length of the hall. It's crazy what we used to do. We haven't done that for some time now due to COVID, and also my army now is no longer Chaos. I play Skitari and Mechanicus, which is completely different to what I cosplay as. But, you know, I might do Iron Warriors at some point. So, Play Expo Manchester, there we are. Bright lights in this huge arena. There's people around us. The stage is behind us. We're flat out. I nickname us the Big Build Show. And I played the Big Show's theme from WWE or F or whatever it is now. I played the Big Show theme and stuff when we went on stage to talk about what we're doing, because we got a small slot to jump on stage and be like, we're over here, we're doing this, come watch us, we're busy, and run off stage. But we did actually do a panel and tell people what we're doing and why we're doing it. People would come over, though, cosplayers would come over and be like, my thing is broken. We'd be like, grab the repair duct tape, there you go, have it back. And the problem is, when we would repair 1 or 2 like props and stuff, the word would spread around cosplayers. You can go to that repair table. We weren't a repair table. We had to start turning people down because we were using glue that was specifically to build our suit and stuff, and we weren't there as a cosplay repair table.
Yeah.
The tables behind, like on the other side of the hall, were like the staffed tables. That's where you could repair stuff. That's where they had like tape and stuff to repair things. So we would occasionally help people. We'd turn a lot of people away. We were trying to focus on building this suit. And in 2 days, we built pretty much 90% of a whole Space Marine. No backpack, no helmet, and no arms. Those are the only things we didn't build. But the rest of it, the feet, the shins, the knees, the thighs, the codpiece, the chest, the entire chest, the shoulders, the inner shoulders, all put together. So basically, most of a Space Marine. So the fact that we managed that in 2 days, while we were hungover the next day and like really tired and completely gone, I think that's an achievement. I think that's a hell of an achievement. Although, rough as a badger's backside, seams everywhere, hot glue everywhere. It looked terrible. I had to do so much repair work to it when I got home. It was insane. It was madness. One day I'm gonna pay you back for my resin crack addiction.
Yeah.
Oh no!
I just looked at that and I couldn't help but think, yeah, between my nephew Kieran and Simon, who's just also put a comment in, yeah, I know the feeling, Ranger of Krieg. Yeah, I didn't play when not last time we met. Last time we did something like this was when we came down to you, and I upset you by calling it the Space Marine a stormtrooper because I didn't play at all. Now I've got Nurgle, Death Guard, Orcs, and Black Legion. 4 armies myself now. So yeah.
Good man. Good man. I'm not gonna lie. I was gonna bring that up. I was shook. Absolutely shook. He took one look at my Iron Warrior and was just like, "Oh, it's a stormtrooper," and I'm like, "What?"
In defense, I knew what it was, and it was just a slip of the tongue. But that first version of the costume, the Iron Warrior, had the stilts, didn't it?
Originally, yeah. Originally, I had a set of 18-inch plastering stilts, one of which completely collapsed on me at Sci-Fi Weekender 8, the first ever Sci-Fi Weekender I went to. And that made me go, stilts out, platforms in, safer.
Yeah, because, and to be fair, you're still a towering presence.
Don't get me wrong, though. I am going to be upgrading them soon. I'm going to try and make myself a touch taller because I'm about 5 or 6 inches shorter than my friend James and David in their suits. So I am a bit shorter. So if I can make myself, at least 6 inches taller again, then I'll be the same height as them, and it'll be the same all around then. So it'll be sort of the same.
One of the questions that Adam did ask me when he dropped out from the stream was, what size shoe does a Space Marine wear?
Triple, quadruple, 6 times, 10 times big. Although on the inside of the Space Marine shoe, a size 12. I'm a size 12. I am a size 12.
So, but since then it's been a constant evolution. Just watching your stuff on like social media and stuff, you went from like just Space Marine with bolt gun to then you started adding like
the details get added, and then the weapon
loincloth and the chains, and then like power fists and stuff like that. So
yeah, it got busy. It got busy very quickly. I decided to add everything to it, and I also wanted a variety of weapons as well. Which I'm still adding to now. Funny thing.
I was going to ask, do you see it as complete now, or is it still working?
Never. I think honestly, as like the default suit, like when I put the suit on the stand with the 2 arms and the standard gloves inside, as a suit, yeah, it's a completed suit. But to me, there's always going to be improvements. There's always going to be changes and this and that and the other. There's always going to be tweaks and stuff. For example, this is my Tech Marine or Warpsmith helmet. This has got like extra bits and bobs or whatever. I'm going to put a GoPro in here. And this helmet is my first helmet. I modified it and made it stronger. And I've got another version of it now, which is just a better helmet. It's actually up here, believe it or not. Let me just grab it. There we go. So this is a much stronger version of it. It's actually a bit heftier, and it's just much more rigid, whereas this one was starting to come apart a little bit. I'm going to be building a different backpack for the Iron Warrior. It's going to be removable, and I can put it on. He's going to have the big grabber arms and stuff. He's going to have some extra bits and bobs on him. I'm going to have I want to make a different arm for him, and there's a lot of stuff I want to do to him. So it'll be like the same suit, but it'll be like a Warpsmith / Tech Marine version of him. So it'll be like an alternate version of him, so I can have more than one version of him. But I've also got the Grey Knight as well that my friend Dave Damon was throwing away. He did try to sell him, but no one bought him, sadly. And then he said, right, he's going to the skip. And I said, I'll take him off your hands if you're throwing him away. He's like, yeah, I'm throwing him away. So I went down, collected it from Exeter, and I've got it here. I need to actually finish sorting that one out. But there's platforms in it now. The platforms are sorted. They're like properly bolted in. I just need to put a pair of feet in him, sort out the shins, and then do the rest, like the tubes and the internals and stuff. There's some strengthening I need to do inside the chest. The chest's a bit twisted because the way it was sat on the floor for so long at his workshop, it was sat down and sort of pushed the foam in, and it's quite hard to get that mass of foam to go back to the right shape. But I'm working on it.
So is that like a strike squad or a Terminator?
That is a Terminator. Yeah, the Grey Knight is a Terminator. He's currently 7 or 8 inches taller than the Iron Warrior. Yeah, with the platforms I've put in him. I've got big aluminium box section platforms that I've put inside him. And basically he's going to be... You're going to notice when he's there. Like with the Iron Warrior, I can sort of get into lifts just about. I'm not going to be able to in this guy. Well, I say I'm not going to be able to. I'm going to try. There's no, I can already feel Harry sweating through the screen, like, oh my God, he's going to try. For those of you guys who don't know, the guy in chat called Ranger of Krieg, he's my spotter. So he's the guy who helps me out, puts my helmet on me, keeps me hydrated, gives me weaponry, helps me attach my power fist, all that kind of stuff. And it's basically, think of like a pit crew, if you will, like for a Formula One driver, like pit crew. They take the tires off, put the tires on, and they refuel the car. Same as that. Like, he takes my helmet off and refuels me by giving me drinks and force feeding me sweets and stuff, and it's great. So, we go to events together, and he cosplays as believe it or not, a Krieg. He's you probably know. Do you know Krieg? The Deathcore of Krieg?
Deathcore of Krieg. Yeah.
Yeah. And thanks to him, that's my upcoming cosplay. I know I've got the Grey Knight, but everyone knows about the Grey Knight, and it's kind of, it's a work in progress because there's so much of it to repair and restore, and just little things that need fixing. And there's also the shoulder modification I need to do to it so I can modify it so it's the same as the Iron Warrior. There's that to sort of work around and figure out. There's a lot of metal work that goes into it. I use aluminium to sort of give the chest like structure and support so it stays in the same shape, because the chest, believe it or not, gets a lot of, that's where everything is mounted to, the shoulders, and as it sits on you, and that's what rotates when you walk, and it gets a lot of go, so I have to make sure that that's nice and strong. But thanks to my friend Harry for getting me into it. But I'm going to be a Deathcore of Krieg now. This is a Lucius Patton Lasgun. Harry, correct me. It's a Lucius Patton Lasgun. This is what the Krieg use, and I built this. I actually built 2 of these, believe it or not. The first one I built was for a friend of mine called Nerd Princess. Her name's Frankie. She's on Instagram. She is doing a Krieg cosplay, so I built her the first one of these. I was going to build the first one for myself, but instead she was like, no, I want the first one. I'm like, oh, okay, you can have the first one. So this is the second one. The first one took me 7 days to build, which to me is a long time. To a lot of people, it's like 7 days is perfectly fine. But to me, I took 7 days was a bit long. But to build this one, to build it, not to paint it, but to build it, took me 4 days. So that's this one. It used to have a bayonet. This is the bayonet. Now, as you can see now, it just has a handle. Before, I'd modified the end piece of this handle about from here forward to go into the end of here so that I could use it as a bayonet for the end of the gun. Ranger of Creed Cosplay in chat sent me a video that this guy had animated, and it's about Krieg in the trenches and stuff. Affix stabby bits.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at.
He showed me a video where the bayonets go on the same way a real life bayonet goes on. They go on above here. The handle's still a thing. It does, then it goes above here. I had designed it the way I wanted to, sort of at the time, to just attach with the end of this. And the way I would hold it is you wouldn't see that bit I'd modified in pictures and stuff. So it wouldn't matter. But after he showed me this video, I had to make a new one. And literally as of like yesterday, I built a new one. So this is it's also pointed at both ends instead of just like a knife. So it's pointed at both ends like in the video. It's got the same handle. I've modified, you can't really see it on stream, but I've done some nice pattern pieces at the back here to make the handle look better. And this is how a bayonet should attach. So I've modified it like that. So if I just attach it like that, so you see how that goes on now? Like a bayonet should go on. So I really appreciate Harry showing me that video and giving me the sort of, yeah, go for it, do it sort of thing. So, and also just if you're wondering, that can support the entire weight of the gun. Like the way I tend to build things is I try to make sure that it's lightweight. I used to not. At the beginning, I used to be like, I don't care how much it weighs. I do now. I try to make sure that they're strong, but they're lightweight and also practical. Like, for example, that can hold the weight of the gun. So if I ever need to move it and I need to go grab the gun, if I can grab the bayonet, I can just grab the bayonet and move it. It also makes sure that it doesn't come out or fall out while I'm at a convention. Now, for people wondering in chat, no, that's not con safe. It's too pointy for starters, and also it's a piece of wood with foam both sides of it. So technically, that's not con safe. But luckily, I cosplay guest at most of the events I go to anyway, and they tend to just not worry about that because they know, like Lisa, for example, me and Lisa know each other really well, and she knows that I'm not going to go around poking people with this because it could break, and I don't want it to break, and I don't want to hurt people. So, as con-safe weaponry goes, most of my stuff is foam anyway. This happens to just be a piece of wood. But again, it's just slightly pointed. I have flattened the end, so it couldn't really do much damage. But if somebody hypothetically, decided to grab it and snap it easily, this could snap. If I broke this over my knee, it would snap pretty easily. So they're not the strongest things in the world, but it works and it's practical. I mean, you saw it on the gun just now. It looked right.
It sounds as if it's got a bit of weight to it.
It kind of has and it kind of doesn't. It's what you call it, balsa. It's really the wood for the bayonet and the handle is all one piece. This piece here, this actual vertical piece, this is a hardwood. The reason that's a hardwood is because I did a joint here, which this piece of wood goes into. So I did a joint there. And I've also done a joint here in a V shape, like a square, which slots into the top. And then that's nailed and wood glued into place. It is kind of heavy, but you'd be surprised. It's super lightweight. It's hard to show weight on camera, but it doesn't weigh much at all. Compared to this one, though, this one does weigh a touch more because of the hardwood. But again, they're both the same length. They're both, they do the same job, but this one I've just modified now to just have a fancy handle. So now you can just hold it and be a Krieg and just gas mask and angry gas mask noises and just run around.
So your Iron Warrior has gone from strength to strength, and you've gone viral several times now, haven't you? Yeah. Let's see. The first viral video
was Sci-Fi Weekender 9, David Roth and me dancing to the final countdown from DJ Leroy at Sci-Fi Weekender, front of stage. That kind of made us go viral. That got, I don't know how many views it's got right now. I'd have to go on Facebook and check. It's got a lot of views. It's got a metric ton of views. It's then been downloaded, and people have changed the music repeatedly and uploaded it to different websites with different music. We've been in several like compilation videos on YouTube, like funny videos from whatever that from the internet kind of compilations and meme videos and stuff. Then there was the Sax Marine. For those of you in chat who don't know, there's a really funny Ultramarines video that a guy did where he's riding on top of a Land Raider amid battle with bullets flying past and explosions going off, and he's playing the epic saxophone tune on a saxophone. And for fun, I built a saxophone out of loads of scrap foam. I have a ton of scrap foam, so I got a bunch of scrap foam, put it together, sprayed it gold, put some Chaos Stars in it, added my own little embellishments and stuff, mounted a speaker inside it, Bluetoothed the Epic Sax Guy music, and at a car park in, I think it was, I'm not sure where it was, Ranger of Krieg would know, I think, where we were filming that. I'm not sure whether it was Bristol or not, but he filmed it. He was in the car park. Actually, no, I think we were in Exeter. I'm not 100%. He'll probably know. We've done so many events, I keep forgetting. But he filmed it. And he filmed me playing the saxophone, and that went viral. That blew up. It was Exeter, there you go. And then David Roth decided to have a go then playing the saxophone in his Darth Vader Space Marine with the Iron Hands logo on the shoulder. And then I come in next to him and then start dancing next to him. And that's really funny. The people who find the original video, me just by myself playing the saxophone, they find that hilarious. But then when they find one of David and they see me dancing next to him, the question I get mostly from that is like, the movement you have in such a big suit of armor, how do you get it? And I'm like, with great difficulty sometimes. You have to really force yourself. You have to force yourself into the positions. It's not crazy easy.
Exaggerated motions, is it?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Like when I walk, I don't walk like this. I walk sort of almost like John Wayne. I have to walk with my legs slightly apart. It makes your thighs ache. If you do an 8-hour day, by the time you get back to the hotel and you lie on the bed, your thighs are throbbing constantly. Back when I first started walking in the Iron Warrior, my calf muscles would be the ones that would cramp up really badly. Since then, I used to go to the gym then and do a bunch of squats and whatever, and walking about in the Iron Warrior at several events, especially MCM London. I walked around the whole of MCM London. People know how big that place is. I stomped around it so much that I tore my actual shoe, not the Space Marine shoe, but my shoe inside. I tore it around the back of the heel, completely came apart. I walked around in it so much. But my calf muscles now are like steel. They're like iron. They are so strong now. It's mad how much, like, that much walking around has just, strengthened my my leg muscles. It's mad. It literally is the maddest thing.
So we have had a question in the chat.
Go ahead.
So Simon wants to know, what are you most looking forward to about your first con back after the pandemic? He said it's for both of us, but mainly for you.
What are you most looking forward to about your first con back after the pandemic? This is the thing. Seeing people, for starters, is 100% my answer. Seeing people. I want to see my friends. Mostly it would be like hugging everyone and saying like hi and whatever, but obviously you got to keep your distance. You can't go around hugging people, which is going to suck not being able to hug people, because I see people and I hug people, or like I'll shake their hand or I'll grab their hand and I'll like tap them on the shoulder kind of thing. I love that kind of, to show them like, hey, I genuinely care, like I've missed you, but it's going to be really difficult only saying it like verbally. Like I'm just gonna constantly be like, I missed you, I wish I could hug you, but I can't. Obviously, unless by, I think it's September, Lisa said. I'm not sure. There's an event coming up near the end of the year, and I'm hoping by then the pandemic will have slackened off so much that 2 meters apart isn't a thing anymore, and that people can actually shake hands and interact and be next to each other than not have to be 2 meters apart. But we'll see. We'll see what happens in the end of the year. I have said that wearing my Iron Warrior Space Marine helmet, there is plenty of room inside it, so that gives me no excuse at all to not wear my mask. I will always wear my mask. So I'll be I have a Hazard Stripe Iron Warrior mask that I bought from Etsy, and it's got these inserts you can put inside it to help. And I'm going to be wearing that and then putting the helmet over the top. So I'll have my mask on anyway. We're going to have hand sanitizer and stuff at the table. I'm going to make sure that there's one of the worst parts for me is putting signs up at my cosplay table saying, please do not touch the props. That's because what I like to do is people come up to my table and I like to talk to them, and then they go, that's a cool gun. And I'm like, I pick up the gun, I'm like, here, play with it. The only thing I've actually told people not to touch on before COVID and stuff is the Power Fist, because the fingers are so delicate. Because it's so many pieces, and it's, I try not to make sure that people don't grab that. But everything else, power shovel, helmet, people can try them on. The only helmet I don't let people try on is the one I wear during the day, because these are sponges and they just get soaked up by my sweat. So no one wants to put this stinky ass sweat box of a helmet on. No one.
But yeah,
this one's different, because this one I've cleaned and sprayed and modified, and this is ready to go. But when the Tech Marine or the Warp Smith is ready, then we'll see. But yeah, that's pretty much how it's going to go.
To be fair, that's a big part of what you've done. Is the interactivity of when you're in an event. We were talking before we started, and you were actually our first panel at Swansea Comic
Yeah.
Because
do you remember that?
Because the guy who was supposed to do it didn't turn up, and and you just offered to step up, you and your friend from Carmartenshire Ghostbusters, and and then you got people up on stage dressing up and everything. So I can understand that.
That was such a last second thing. I literally was just like, oh, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, I was like, hey, if you want us to go on, we can do a little panel and talk about the Ghostbusters and stuff. While we were there, I was just like, oh, I know what we'll do. Yeah, we'll get someone up. Does anyone want to dress up as a Ghostbuster? And they're like, yeah. So as we would get someone up, we would put the jumpsuit on them. When we had the jumpsuit on them, then we would explain, this is the ID badge, this is the name, this is zip it up, these are the pockets and everything. Another one would be that we'd put on the belt, and then I'd show them the PKE meter, and then show them that. Then we'd put on the Ghostbusters hat. I just have a hat like this with a Ghostbusters logo on it that I stitched on. And we'd show people the boots, and tuck your the overall trousers into your boots and stuff, and into your socks, into your boots and stuff. And then we would show people the proton pack on the table. And then the first thing I'd have to ask the person on the stage is, have you had any back problems or surgery lately? And they're like, no, why? And I'm like, because this is heavy. And we'd put it on, and the first thing you'd hear them, as soon as you strap it all up and belt them up and tie it, and then slowly lower the pack and give them the weight of the pack, the first thing they do is exhale and go, because it's 17.5 kilos, I think, my one, because it's 2 layers. It's resin and fiberglass, because Ben offers a fiberglass kit or a resin kit. Well, I asked for both. So what he did was he made the resin kit and then covered the inside with strips of fiberglass, and then painted all over. So it's a heavy, strong kind of pack. And I have to make sure I ask people, have you had any back problems? And it has actually happened. People are like, oh yeah, I actually had surgery a couple of months ago. I'm like, oh, best thing then, don't wear this one. I'll let you play with the wand and stuff, but don't wear it, because it's 17 kilos and it can really put a weight on your back. So, it's spread because of the Alice frame and stuff, but it's still a lot of weight to put just on your back. And if you've had surgery, definitely don't wear it. Play with all the gadgets and the toys and the traps and everything on the table. You can have so much fun with it, and donate to Latch and all that. But we did do. I tried it a few times at Cardiff, which was £5 try on the Proton Pack, like wear it, have some videos taken, play with it and everything for a good like 5 or 10 minutes. And I had like 6 or 7 people do that during a day, which was pretty decent. I know £5 is a lot, but it all goes to a good cause. It all goes to Latch to Lost Children's Cancer Charity.
We're always a not-for-profit convention, so
Absolutely.
we always pick a charity to support. So currently, last year we let the community pick, and they picked Wales Ape and Monkey Sanctuary up in Abercrave. We haven't been able to run, so we haven't been able to raise as much as we normally do. But they are currently running. They are currently running a raffle, £5 a ticket. They've got some fantastic prizes. So if you want to help out a good cause, head to their Facebook page and you'll find all the details. That's Wales Ape and Monkey Sanctuary.
Wales Ape and Monkey Sanctuary. I like that. That's pretty cool. I just saw what Harry put in the chat. He said, "From calf muscles cometh iron." Harry, I swear, I love him. I love him. But yeah, that's the way I've gone from. I remember I have the links. Believe it or not, I have the links to them. I remember my first 100 followers. I remember my first ever 100 followers on my cosplay page, and now I've forgotten how many I have now. 5K, I think, something like that. I'm on my way to 6K now, and it's crazy. And I've got a bunch of followers on Instagram as well. I think I've got 3.4K there. So that's kind of cool. I've got 308 or 9 or something on Twitch right now. My streams are starting tomorrow, so I'm going to do a shameless plug. 8 p.m. every Tuesday and Thursday on the Iron Warrior Cosplay Twitch, I do something called the Iron Warrior Cosplay Q&A, where I get cosplayers on, model makers, painters, all that kind of stuff. Anything that they're passionate about that I have some kind of knowledge of, I get them on and I chat to them. It is so much fun. If you guys want to watch the ones I've done previously, if you follow my link tree, you'll find my YouTube channel. Actually, I can literally do that. Literally, bippity, boppity, boop. You can follow my link tree and go to my YouTube page, the Iron Warrior Cosplay YouTube, and see all the other streams I've done. For those cosplayers in chat, if you don't know, I also interviewed Evil Ted from Evil Ted Smith. The amazing cosplayer. He worked on a bunch of movies as well, like Fifth Element, Titanic, and stuff like that. I interviewed him, and he was so much fun. One of my best streams in terms of getting to meet someone I never thought I'd get to talk to. Like, I've had so many of my friends on there, and it's great to talk to them and get to know how they started, just like we're doing now. But to get to talk to, if you will, like a celebrity in the cosplay world was mind-blowing. I was like, I didn't think I'd get him. I just threw him a message out one day, thanks to Nick Acott, sorry, of Sneaky Zebra. Do you know Sneaky Zebra? They do the really cool cosplay music videos on YouTube. They're so cool. I'm actually in one of them at London MCM. I'm in one of them. It's so much fun. They're great guys. They absolutely are.
So,
nice. There we go. Thank you, Lupus. There's a friend of mine who says, Facebook says you have 5,748 likes and 6,132 followers. Hell yeah. I'm almost at 6K likes, but I've got 6K followers now. I'm so happy. It's great.
So
I remember my first 100, man. I literally remember my first 100. It's madness.
So, I've been seeing the stuff you've been doing lately, and you're doing purity seals. So, have you branched out and started commissioning for people, or is it
I've done commissions. I've actually done commissions for some time. I have a page. I have a page I haven't linked actually. If Ranger of Krieg wants to, he's my moderator on Twitch. I have a page called Battle Ready Cosplay Props and Costumes. If he's not busy, he might throw the link up on chat. If he doesn't, that's fine. He wasn't meant to do anything for me tonight. He just wanted to join in and say hi. I actually have purity seals that I've made. What it is, I say I made them. I cast them. A friend of mine called Warp Raven Cosplay and Props on Facebook, and also Warp Raven. Yes, Ranger of Krieg, you legend. Battle Ready Cosplay and Props and Costumes. That's where I do all my commission work. So, for example, I actually build ball pistols as commissions as well. I do, but I just sold one recently. I just fixed the belt on this one, this belt feed. It kind of broke on my old one broke, so I've just done this new one now, and it's much stronger, much sturdier. So that's my Iron Warrior bolt pistol that I use for the Space Marine. With commissions and stuff, for example, I'm trying to think of what else I would do. I haven't got much in terms of commission stuff here right now because obviously a lot of it I've sold and it's gone to its new home. But if you go to Battle Ready, you can see what I've built there. In terms of the seals, which are these, I know you can't see; it's just white right now because of the light. Warp Raven is an amazing, I don't know how you say it. You can commission her to make molds. So I commissioned her to make me these molds. Again, you can't see because of the lighting, obviously, and the quality of my camera, but this is a mold of 3 purity seals, and I have 2 of them, and she sent me an extra one as well. She also made one for my Iron Warrior cosplay, like large coins. Actually, hold on, I should have one here somewhere, I think, if I'm right. Yes, I do. She cast them for me, and this is like actually got iron powder in it. So it's actually an Iron Warrior cast seal, cast like coin, and it's actually rusted because she put water on it, and the actual iron powder rusts, and it's so stunning. So I commissioned her to make me some seals, and she made me 3 random seals. So it would the logo changes a little bit in terms of how much battle damage it's got. I've actually already painted a bunch up. These are my Iron Warrior cosplay purity seals. I've already painted a bunch of these up. The purity seals themselves, I've had to not had to, but these I commissioned from her as the seals, and I wouldn't feel comfortable casting these like I do, painting them up and selling them myself, because I feel like that would be selling her work. Because she did literally 90% of, 99.99% of the work. The only 1% I do is I chuck hot glue in them and then paint them up. That's literally all I do. So she did all the work. So I wouldn't feel comfortable selling these. But not only that, these are my personal Iron Warrior purity seals. So, these are going on my Space Marine. The old ones the old skull ones are coming off, and these are going on instead. I've got 1, 2, 3. I've done 4 that are painted, and I've got another 6 now that I'm going to paint. And over the next couple of days, I'm going to take off the old ones and figure out new places to put these. And I'm going to get parchment made up, old tattered, really decent length parchments and stuff from. I think there's a company that does. They'll print onto canvas for you. And if they can print like these purity seals onto canvas for me, I can cut them out and burn them and singe them and sort of glue them on and glue them behind these and then glue these onto the Iron Warrior so he has, purity seals and all that kind of stuff. So there's those, but if I was going to cast my own seals, I would, let's say for example, I would commission someone to send me, for example, she was lovely enough to send me this. This is an Iron Warrior coin. It's a small metal one. I've painted it to look like metal. It's not actually metal, it's resin. And she wrote on the back, "Hope you have fun pimping the Iron Warrior, Warp Raven," on the back of that. So what I did was, on Twitch, you can have channel points. And I've taken a picture of this and photoshopped it. So now this is the iron coin on my Twitch channel now. So when you spend your iron coin, you're spending these. These are iron coins. I think that's really, really cool. But she would have to send me the raw one. So then I would buy the resins, not so much the resins, sorry, the latex, so if you will, and I would do the work. I would, if she could just 3D print it, post it, and send it to me, I'll do all the cleanup, and then I would do all the actual latex side of things. Then I would cast stuff. Then I'd be happy to sell them. But because she did all the design, she designed these from scratch. These were designed from scratch. She has a video up on her Instagram of her doing it all. So all that work that I've commissioned, obviously I've paid her for them, but even though I've paid her for them, it's still, I still consider it to be more her work than it is mine. So I wouldn't be comfortable selling these myself unless I did most of the work. So the bolt pistols, for example, I build them. So, I built them. That means I'm happy to sell them. If someone was like, hey, can you do this for me, or can you do that? Can you build this? Can you make me a helmet? And that's, again, if I'm doing it, if I'm getting the foam, laser cutting it, or slicing it and gluing it all together, then I'm doing all the work. I wouldn't sell you a helmet, for example, and pay somebody else to do it, and then them give their work to me, and then me sell it to you. I couldn't do it. It's just not ethical, I guess is the word, or like it's just not right. It's just not honest. It's uncool. It's very, very bad. So I have a bunch of these seals now that I've cast out of hot glue. They're going on the Iron Warrior, but they're not for sale. I actually had a guy message me and a guy comment saying, how much? Can you ship them to me? And I'm like, I don't sell these specific ones. If, for example, there's a free file on Thingiverse, maybe, and it's free, and it says like you can sell them, because if you go on Thingiverse, it tells you whether they're commercial or whatever. And I could make a latex mold of my own and then cast them and paint them and sell them. Yeah, sure. But other than that, I don't think I will, in terms of seals anyway. But as for props, hell yeah, I'll do props. I do, like, for example, like I said earlier, I made one of these for Nerd Princess. She wanted a lasgun, so I made her a lasgun, and I sold it to her. I made the pattern and stuff up myself for my laser. It took me a while to get all the sizing and stuff right, and it takes a while to put one of these together. I know I said 4 days for this one, but that's because it's mine and I just put it together. If it was somebody else's, I take more time doing things. Try to make sure things are a bit more refined and a bit more perfect if I can. Here's the cool thing though, in terms of commissions. I was commissioned to do this, but that's a sledgehammer. But it's rubber latex. It's not real. It's fake. But I've painted it up to look real. And I got commissioned to make this over Halloween. But sadly, the guy never paid. So I have a sledgehammer that's quite real when you look at it like in person. If you put it on the floor or whatever, when you carry it over to someone, I walked over to my sister the other day and threw it at her. She thought it was real. So that makes me quite happy about my paint job. But I got that idea from Evil Ted Smith, and he painted a clown hammer on his stream, and then he did an edit of it and put it up on his YouTube channel. I watched it a bunch. And while talking to him on my stream, I asked my chat, like, hey, if you guys know where to get these, let me know. Turns out the only place you could get the sledgehammer that he used was a place called Spirit Halloween, and it's in America, and the pop-up shops during Halloween. Yeah. And obviously we don't have that here. And I tried to go online to find one of them, and I found Spirit Halloween does not ship to the UK. We don't ship to the UK. So I asked a friend of mine who said, oh, hey, we have one just down the road. I was like, can you check if they've got a hammer there? And he said, yeah, sure. He took a picture of it on his dashboard. He's like, bought it. And I'm like, okay, because I don't know how much the postage is going to cost from the US. Like, the amount of postage costs from the US is astronomical.
Yeah.
You know what he did? He was a legend, and he just posted it out to me. He just bought it for me and just gave it to me. So this is the same hammer that Evil Ted painted up on his stream. He made a like a Wastelander kind of hammer. It had like wrapped leather around it and stuff. It was really, really cool. So this is the one from Spirit Halloween. This is the same one. I haven't had the guts to paint it yet because I'd like to buy the Plaid FX paints, I think they're called. Plaid FX, like special latex paints that will paint over latex. I want to buy those before painting this up. I want to buy the colors that I want so I can paint this properly. And then I was going to do a big video then of me painting this on stream. So I was going to do like me on stream painting this, getting it done and everything. But comparing this to the version I did, this was from the UK, you can see the difference. Like they are quite different in size. They're a good chunk different. But this one I feel is going to be the best one. This is going to be my own personal one. But sadly, so is the other one because obviously the guy never paid for it. But hey, it's the way it goes. Things happen. That's why quite recently now, if someone commissions something from me, I give them the whole price. Like, this is how much it's going to cost to build X prop. I need half for before I start. So I take a half payment as a deposit, if you will. So I can make sure I've got, at least a good chunk of the money so I can buy foam, buy glue, anything I need to buy tools or anything I need to buy to make that prop or PVC or anything like that, I have that money then to spend to buy it. But then when I get paid the second half, then that's like the total amount, and that's where I make my money then. So for example, like if I was going to sell this, I would just sell it outright because I built it. But if someone was like, "Can you build me one of these?" Well, this took me 3 days because I had to actually do woodworking. I had to cut out the peg for this and making sure it was straight. And there's a bunch of work that went into this. A lot more work went into this than this. Yeah, no worries. Take your time.
Dog wants to go out.
It's all right. But yeah, so I hope chat is having a good time. How many of you are here? There's a fair few of you here. Wow, hello. Any questions? Let me know. I'm literally here. I'm happy to chat. If anyone wants to. Oh, he's back. Never mind. There you go. I was just offering chat if they wanted to chat. I was going to be like, if you just type, I'll just chat. Like, I don't mind.
No, the dog just came and asked to go out, so I thought I'd better leave her out. Yeah. So, what's next then? What is next for the Iron Warrior?
Let's see. Well, right now, other than the Grey Knight, right now it's my Krieg cosplay. Right now it's my Death Core of Krieg. I was about to say it, Harry. I keep saying Ranger of Krieg because I say Harry's username so much. When I call the Death Core of Krieg by their name, I keep calling them the Ranger of Krieg. It's so bad. I need to stop. It's a bad habit. This is my lasgun for my Krieg cosplay. I have my trench coat ready. I have a bunch of the belts and stuff ready. I have a backpack ready. There's other things I need to buy for it that I can't make. But there's also, when COVID is over, Harry, Ranger of Krieg, is meant to come over, and we're going to be designing the gas mask and the box. I think that either the box or the cylinder on the back. I forget which one I'm going to be doing for this one. But again, the reason I'm forgetting is because this was meant to be done last year. There you go, the box. This was meant to be done last year. And then me and Harry were meant to go to events. But obviously, COVID hit, so that kind of put a bit of a damper on the party, if you will. So when COVID's all over and Harry's ready, he's going to pop on over, and he makes these amazing masks. And we're going to make a mask together. We're also going to make the box. I'm hoping to make like some cool bits and bobs for the box to make it look a bit more sort of more realistic in terms of like the boxes I've seen are usually just like a small little line and that's about it on the models. But Harry has done this amazing, it actually lights up and stuff, and it actually has like a dial and stuff on it. Well, what is it? The pressure gauge or the kind of, I have one here. Here you go. This is the one. There you go. It has one of those. It has like a gauge on it. And this is the one I'm going to be using for mine. There's also going to be some tubes coming out of it and bits and bobs to make it look a bit more like it actually does something. They're going to be doing that as well. And I've got my, what have I got? I got my putties as well. And I'm looking for a new pair of trousers and maybe an old worn shirt. That kind of stuff. So I've got the helmet. The helmet's over there. I've weathered that and everything. I got that cast plastic one from Etsy. I've painted it all up and put an Aquila on the front of it. So that should be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to getting that and the mask together. I've got the tube for the mask as well. And yeah, so I'm almost ready. It's just needing to get my best friend over so we can actually work together in my workshop again. Because usually I'd be here working on stuff and then Harry'd be working on the table there. And we'd be like listening to music and working together and everything. But sadly, COVID hit pretty hard and his county got locked down, and lockdown in general said, only travel for, important things. Well, cosplay's pretty important, but no, we better not risk it.
Okay. Okay, I'm aware that I've kept you for quite some time now. So, where would you like people to go? When we post it on YouTube, we will put all your links in the description below.
Absolutely. That's my link tree right there. If you guys want to jump on that, that'll take you to pretty much everything I've got, all my social media. If you want to jump on those, I've got Instagram that I've been posting to recently, Facebook and Twitter I've been posting to recently. I also have a Twitch channel which will be starting tomorrow. Season 3, No Place I'd Rather Be. It's pretty much going to be running until May. I have about 19 to 20 guests. So it's going to be twice a week, every week, running until May. So if you guys want to come chill out from 8 p.m. until... Streams usually run 2 to 3 hours, sometimes more, depending on how much fun we're having. But if you guys want to come along, let me know. Give me a follow on Twitch, and it'll ping you a notification when I go live. So I really appreciate that. But I really appreciate this, though. I genuinely, like, when you messaged me, I was like, yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to go live with you.
Yeah, it's been quite fun. It's been interesting getting it all. Like, obviously, we only started because we had the notification that we couldn't run this year. But
yeah, that was pretty heartbreaking because I was looking forward to being back with the Iron Warrior. I was looking forward so much to being back again. Like, really, really heartbreaking.
And yeah, so it's just been a bit. We are coming back when we're allowed. So
yeah, absolutely.
You're definitely welcome to come back as long as you can make the dates in 2022.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll put you down in my calendar.
We haven't decided dates yet because we we moved from April to August. Then we rebooked for May this year.
May this year. Yeah, I remember. I was seeing it all online, and I was like, "Oh no, they cancelled again."
Yeah,
it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. But hopefully by then, I say hopefully by then, my Krieg will be done, and both myself and Harry will be there in full force as 2 Deathcore of Krieg, ready to go and bayonet some filthy chaos scum. So that'll be really fun.
But again, thank you so much for coming. It's been a blast having a chat. We will be back on Wednesday when it's the painting stream. So if you want to come and join in and paint with us and chat, just come along on Wednesday from 8. I'm currently... Oh, I think I'm going to start painting my squig off on Wednesday.
Oh, nice. Nice.
And Simon is building... carrying on his building with his big, massive squat tank thing.
Squat tank thing? Okay, that's gonna be cool.
Oh, he did say what it was called last Wednesday, but I can't remember. But it's never had a 40k miniature, but it had the epic scale one. So he's making 40k sized one. And
he's making a full-size version of an epic one. That's quite cool. I might go in for that one.
So far, he is cut and shut 2 Bane Blades together chassis.
Oh no!
So 2 Bane Blade chassis is the base of it, and he's built plasterboard up, but not plasterboard, plasticard up and everything. So yeah, it's huge. He couldn't even fit it all onto his camera last week. So yeah, join us for that. And yeah, we're gonna go. So do you want to say anything before we go?
No, follow my links. My link tree's in the chat. Follow that, and I'll see you live tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
So make sure you tune in to Iron Warrior Cosplay on Twitch tomorrow, and you can listen to Dyfrig being the question master instead.
Yeah, I'll be the quiz master.
Okay, so
Bye, everyone.